nagula kwibukisha kana depotimo wimbo wa temenu wakatongi abazunga batita katongi nagula kwibukisha kateka kaibukubuna kapona nenseko syove pamenso yangwa umebaya iyaba baume iyaba baume
kateka wabantu twakulira lelo twakulira shika kukonke milimo shove Eti kume mo kulondolo la vale di lo wingi
iseko wingi mwakwete iseso wingi mwakwete mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
katusi muchi wakege wali bomba kale lomba mwatu jatuleli lake Ukula bebyo wati dobwingi Ibisebo wapagini okwingi Ukuchinjo lusako kumoneko busaka Mama, utituwa na basiyani Chagwa katuse
Today we stand at a crossroads, not just of politics but of conscience. The passing of our humble president, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, is not only a moment of mourning, it is a moment of reckoning. Let this be a message to every future politician of Zambia. Power is not a crown. It is a responsibility. You are not above the people, you are born of them. You are raised by their trust, and you are judged by how you honor it. What we witnessed during President Lungu's health challenges must never happen again. No family should be dragged through courtrooms while grieving. No widow should plead for dignity. No orphan should wait for justice to bury their father. This is not the Zambia we were meant to be. Let us start over. Let us rebuild, not just our institutions, but our hearts. Let the death of President Lungu remind us that we are each other's keeper. That love is not weakness, it is our greatest strength. That the Bible commands us to care for the widow, the orphan, and the stranger. And that true leadership begins with compassion. We only have one Zambia. Let us raise her high, not with slogans, but with service. Let us show love, not just in words, but in action. Let us unite, not just in grief, but in purpose. To the Lungu family, we are with you. To every citizen, your pain matters. To every leader, your legacy begins now. One Zambia, one nation, one heart. Today we stand at a crossroads, not just of politics, but of conscience. The passing of our humble president, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, is not only a moment of mourning, it is a moment of reckoning. Let this be a message to every future politician of Zambia.
Good day and welcome to today's broadcast. We're privileged that today is Independence Day. Independence Day. Just a moment as is Independence Day. A day we reflect on the last 61 years. You know, it took me to China because on Independence Day in 1964, we were the third largest economy in Africa. Our GDP per capita was equal to most European countries. 61 years later, we lie in West. We are the sixth poorest country in the world. We are among the top 10 unequal countries in the world. We are wallowing in debt, and our economy remains a small economy. You know, even cities like Nairobi beat Zambia. But when you reflect, for example, where China is, China's GDP per capita in 1964 was at $300. Today, China's GDP per capita is at $10,000. China used to be a sick man of Asia. Today, it's the greatest power in the East and the second largest economy in the world. China today, runs some of the best infrastructure in the world. The high-speed rail is the best in the world. Their trains fly across China at 350 kilometers per hour, the fastest rail system on earth. China was a poor agricultural country. Today it's a number one powerhouse in, first of all, manufacturing and as an industrial hub. And it has achieved all these, lifting people up to 700 million people from out of poverty within a period of 25 years. It took the US 120 years. It took Britain 200 years. It took China just 25 years. And they did this without conquest, without war. They now have clean water nearly to every citizen. They have free education up to grade 9. They have 5G signal across China. And their military build-up is only rivaling the US. Where are we? What did we do right? What do we do wrong? So today, I'm privileged that I've invited a dear brother of mine, Honorable Makebi Zulu. He's former Minister of Eastern Province. He worked in the rural areas. I worked in the rural areas. So I have great admiration for people that worked in the rural areas, because then you can see firsthand how our people live. He's also a former Malambo MP. Let me just bring him in to invite him and greet him. Honorable Makebi Zulu, welcome to today's program, and we are privileged that we are hosting you today on this auspicious, better day, National Independence Day.
Well, thank you for having me, Ambassador. I'm delighted to be here, as always.
Wonderful. We're going to have a wonderful discussion, Honorable Makebi Zulu. For our viewers, share the broadcast. Share the broadcast on your pages. Share it everywhere. If you are watching us on WhatsApp, if you are watching us on TikTok, if you are watching us on YouTube. And if you have any problem with Facebook, like it is in Zambia, every time we are hosting a major personality, just migrate to YouTube. Many people are saying it's cleaner, better, sound is crisp, YouTube. But our people are a Facebook country, I know. But so share the broadcast, and we are hosting Honorable Makebi Zulu today.
Electoral Commission of Zambia. Registration across the country from the 13th of October to the 11th of November 2025. If you are 18 years and above, a Zambian citizen and in possession of a Green National Registration Card, NRC, you qualify to register. If you registered in 2020 or during continuous registration of voters and you still have your voter's card, you don't need to register again. During this registration period, ECZ will be providing the following services: new registrations, replacement of lost, destroyed or defaced voters' cards, transfers from one polling station to another, claims for omission on the register of voters, corrections of clerical errors, and removal of deceased voters. Registration centers will be open throughout the week from 8 hours to 17 hours. Register now. It's your right. It's your choice. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
We hosted and profiled Honorable Makebi Zulu on the Conversation podcast. After this broadcast, you can go there. He tabulated in detail where he was born, his parents, how he was brought up from the primary school days up to university and up to his practice and his momentous moments in his life. It was a long broadcast. I'll encourage you to go there. Today, we're just reflecting on Zambia's national independence. Honorable Makebi Zulu, when people see you, you immediately remind us of the national crisis we are in. We have the late president, Zambia's sixth president, and we have not put him to rest. And every time the last 4 months people have seen you on TV, they see you discuss that matter. So maybe let's immediately help us with the current update before we go to reflecting on Zambia's independence.
Yes. Well, as of the last time that we gave an update, we did indicate that at this particular point, we were engaging with government for purposes of having a solution. Well, we have the matter in court. There is an appeal in court. And at the time we engaged government, we said we're going to go through a mediated settlement. And the mediated settlement meant that the state was going to pick one mediator. We were going to pick one mediator. The two would sit and we would talk and come to what would be seemingly an amicable solution in all this. But from that time onwards, we did tell the nation that, of course, there were clandestine activities that were going on in the background, that are still going on in the background, that seem or are intended to take away the dignity of or the solemnity of the funeral that we have. It is desirable for the family that ECL or the former President Agwalungu be buried. It is desirable that he be buried. It has been the desire of the family. But the issue has been what would amount to a dignified process. The family expressed what the wishes were, and those wishes, at some point, we thought the government was going to respect them until there was a program that tended to change what was agreed, indeed introduce things that were not agreed, such as a private church ceremony at the airport, such as having to invite those that were going to attend at the airport, leaving out the family not being engaged as to who they wanted to attend at the airport. It was very clear that the family said the body was going to be received by the relatives. That was not the case. And at the last moment, people that should have been there, that ordinarily ought to have been there, were being kept away from being in attendance. And as usual, there were quite a number of things that had gone on. And that is despite the family having given in on quite a number of issues that included the visitation or the taking of the funeral to the village so that the mourners in the village could have an opportunity to mourn our late president. There was an indication that it was desirable that the body be taken to the Copper Belt where he was raised for people on the Copper Belt to mourn with him, like we've done for many other presidents who had options, or the families had options whether to refuse or to indeed go through those processes. But that was not to be the case for the Lungu family. That was taken away. They gave in on all those. And this one thing that related to the desires of the deceased and the family as to the absence of President Hakainde Hichilema from the receipt of the body and only restricting him to the funeral, to the state funeral on a Sunday where he would be receiving his colleagues. That was abrogated as well because the program itself was replete with the attendance, as was not needed by both the deceased and the family. And it would have been magnanimous if we could have gotten past through this. But we've seen that the propaganda machinery of the state has been tilted against the family, trying to make it seem as though the family is the one that has been unreasonable all along, when in fact not. You will note that it is very simple. It is very easy for the president to simply say, listen, I will not be in attendance. The vice president will attend, or indeed any other person will attend for and on behalf of the government. I'm cognizant that we may not have had a good relationship, but if this is the will of the family or indeed the deceased, I will not be in attendance. We would have gone past through this. But it appears as though it is an ego issue, and we are hoping that perhaps through this mediated process, reason will come to reign and will come to a conclusion. But you may have noted that even after we said, okay, this is going to be our mediator, upon the announcement of who the mediator was going to be, you saw what happened, the attacks on Archbishop Alik Banda. And that seemed to suggest that he had no credibility to oversee this process. He had no good stand to be believable in this process. And that seemed to draw us a little bit backwards. But in our recent conversation, after the National Day of Prayer, the Secretary to the Cabinet did reach out to say he had intended that we proceed with this matter. And we did direct that perhaps the right thing to do right now is to approach the Archbishop, who's the desired mediator on behalf of the family, and see how best we can make amends and move forward. It is desirable that President Edgar Chagwa Lungu be put to rest, and it is the desire of every citizen that he be put to rest. The family has been in mourning all this while, and they have been committed to prayer. Currently, Mom has been on a retreat where she's seeking the face of God and praying through this process. And the desire is to honor the last wishes of East. And the desire is to give him a decent burial, not a mockery of a burial, but the propaganda that has been going on. And this aspect of engaging a private investigator to investigate things that do not necessarily exist, and the involvement of this NGO that is being sponsored by the Zambian government to go and lay false reports at the police and be seen to be championing a cause that is non-existent for purposes of saying the public, or indeed by public, they're saying that the Zambian public, the interest of the Zambian public is the one that is going to be, that is being reflected by this particular movement, is pretty much unacceptable. You may wonder, why are we saying that this organization was engaged by the government? You may have noted that the time the matter was in court at the Pretoria
Makebi Zulu.
At the Pretoria
Honorable Makebi Zulu, just a minute.
You notice that those that were protesting outside were from the progressive movement. And at the police, we found that the permit that they had that enabled them to picket on the streets was gotten by the government of the Republic of Zambia. It was in the name of the government of the Republic of Zambia. And you would wonder why they would go to such extents to do such things. But the issue has been the vilification of the family.
Honorable Makebi Zulu.
Making the family
Honorable Makebi Zulu.
bad. We should always side with the weak. The government is strong. The government can do anything, almost anything at least, but the family is on the weak side. And if we as Zambians do not stand with them...
just a minute. I'm cutting Honorable Makebi Zulu because there seems to be, we seem to have an issue with sound, especially for people watching us on YouTube. I've calls already calling, and so just wait. Honorable Makebi Zulu, I ask for your indulgence. Let me just resolve that issue of sound, but he's made some serious revelations, such as the so-called progressive forces that were protesting at court representing South Africa. The permit was gotten by the Zambian government. I'll bring him back to come and finish his thoughts. Today we are reflecting Zambia at 61, but I'm told there's an issue with sound on YouTube. On Facebook, it looks okay. So let me just resolve that quickly so that then we can go right into the broadcast. So let me just look at it. I invited my technical team to look at that.
Registration across the country from the 13th of October to the 11th of November 2025. If you are 18 years and above, a Zambian citizen and in possession of a Green National Registration Card, NRC, you qualify to register. If you registered in 2020 or during continuous registration of voters and you still have your voter's card, you don't need to register again. During this registration period, ECZ will be providing the following services: new registrations, replacement of lost, destroyed or defaced voters' cards, transfers from one polling station to another, claims for omission on the register of voters, corrections of clerical errors, and removal of deceased voters. Registration centers will be open throughout the week from 8 hours to 17 hours. Register now. It's your right. It's your choice. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kuibukisha Kana depotimo Wimbo wa temenu wa katongi Awazunga watita katongi na kula kuibukisha kateka Kaibuku muna kapona Nese kosiove pameso Yangu ama umebaya Iyaba Iyaba ume Iyaba ume Iyaba
Twakulira, lelo twakulira Shika kukonke milimo shove
Ale filamba Yena minta pengosile Deti kume moku Londolole avale Lilo wingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Isaso wingi mwakwete Mwaya Mwaya Mwende wino tata wesu
Katusi muchi wakege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatu jatuleli lake
Benda
wachito bwingi Ibisebo wapangini obwingi Ukuchinjo lusako kumoneko busaka Mama, kutituwa na basia Yangu buseninda la langula chilo Oke bose tulive na kuyalelo Tepcho bayeti Amita pendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoto Kula kuibukisha Tana depochimo Wimbo wa temenu wa katongi Abazunga batita katongi Nakula kuibukisha kateka Kaibuku muna kapona Nenseko siove pameso Yangu ama umebaya Iyaba baba ume Iya baba ume
Kateka wabantu Twakulila lelo twakulila Shikaku konke milimo shove
Leti kume moku la dolole avale lilo mwingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Isaso wingi mwakwete Mwaya Mwende wino tata wesu
Katusi muchi mokege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatu jatule lilake
Penda Upanga mwine Oya mwine Ine lalila
Yangu ya baba ume Ala nacho mwabye Mama Ukula bebyo wachito bwingi Ibisebo wapangini obwingi Ukuchinjo lusako kumoneko busaka Mama, kutituwa na basiani Ciao.
Today we stand at a crossroads, not just of politics but of conscience. The passing of our humble president, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, is not only a moment of mourning, it is a moment of reckoning. Let this be a message to every future politician of Zambia. Power is not a crown. It is a responsibility. You are not above the people, you are born of them. You are raised by their trust, and you are judged by how you honor it. What we witnessed during President Lungu's health challenges must never happen again. No family should be dragged through courtrooms while grieving. No widow should plead for dignity. No orphan should wait for justice to bury their father. This is not the Zambia we were meant to be. Let us start over. Let us rebuild, not just our institutions, but our hearts. Let the death of President Lungu remind us that we are each other's keeper. That love is not weakness, it is our greatest strength. that the Bible commands us to care for the widow, the orphan, and the stranger, and that true leadership begins with compassion. We only have one Zambia. Let us raise her high, not with slogans, but with service. Let us show love, not just in words, but in action. Let us unite, not just in grief, but in purpose. To the Lungu family, we are with you. To every citizen, your pain matters. To every leader, your legacy begins now. One Zambia, one nation, one heart.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoto kula kuibukisha Kanate pochimo wimbo watemenu wakatongi Abazunga batita katongi nakula kuibukisha kateka Kaibuku muna kapona neseko siove pamenso Yangu ama umebaya Iyaba, iyaba maume Iyaba maume
Kateka wabantu twakulira lelo twakulira shikakukonke milimo shove
Ale filamba yena minta pengo sile Eti kume moku londolo la vale Lilo wingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Iseko wingi mwakwete Mwaya, mwaya Mwende wino tata wesu
Katushi muchi wakege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatuja tuleli laki Mupanga chiba
Penda Kupanga mwine Oye mwine Ide lalila Lalila Lalila
Yangu ya mama ume Ala nacho mwabye Mama
Today we stand at a crossroads, not just of politics, but of conscience. The passing of our humble president, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, is not only a moment of mourning, it is a moment of reckoning. Let this be a message to every future politician of Zambia. Power is not a crown. It is a responsibility. You are not above the people, you are born of them. You are raised by their trust, and you are judged by how you honor it. What we witnessed during President Lungu's health challenges must never happen again. No family should be dragged through courtrooms while grieving. No widow should plead for dignity. No orphan should wait for justice to bury their father. This is not the Zambia we were meant to be. Let us start over.
Hello, dear viewers. We have a technical glitch. I apologize. It's something we're trying to resolve. It's very clear on one of our channels, but on our redistributing stream that takes you everywhere, we seem to have a technical glitch there. So I'll beg you, I'll stop this broadcast and restart it afresh. So just refresh your pages.